Are you a big spender? Are you a saver? Are you a shopper? Are you a debtor? Are you an investor? Are you a blend of all of them? What is your money personality? That's right, my name is Manda Walker and I am the mortgage coach, and I'm here to help you get mortgage ready. I believe that everyone has a right to own their own home, and in order for you to achieve this goal, I work to get you mortgage ready. Now, I've just qualified as a certified financial coach. Now, what that means is it really does help you understand your relationship with money. As you know, my channel is Mortgages and Money Matters. The second part of it, Money Matters, is all about money mindset and understand why you do things and what your relationship with money is. Now, as I mentioned before, there are different money personalities, and depending on which one you are, or maybe you're a combination of a couple, will actually really highlight why you do things with money and why you have trouble with money, or those people that don't seem to have trouble saving a deposit and you struggle. So I'd like to go through them, and it'd be great if you could actually think, is this me? Is some of this me? And I'd love for you to comment in the chat who you think you are, or if you're a combination of them. So the first one, is a big spender. Now, the big spender is the one who likes the nice cars, who likes the nice gadgets, who has labelled clothes, may even want the latest iPhone. They really are about keeping up with the Joneses. Now, that expression just means, keeping up with the neighbours, getting the latest gadgets, and being the one to have it first or second, but definitely not last. So they will always be spending money on the latest gadgets, and obviously this will really harm them when they're trying to save up for a deposit. So they really need to remember their why. Why do they want to buy their own home? And this will help. But they are spontaneous buyers, and they also love knowing when the up-to-date gadget is coming, and they will wait and they will make sure that they have it first or second, as I said. Right, and the next one is the complete opposite, which is called the saver. Now, this person is very risk averse, and they may have significant amounts of savings, but they still may not want or be able to buy a property, because the idea of them giving away that level of money, they're not really giving it away, but that's how it feels to them. They like to have savings and they like to keep it in the bank. That also means that it will take them quite a long time to save a deposit, because the interest rates on bank accounts when you're saving is very, very low. There needs to be other ways, which I'll talk about another time, to possibly invest to make more from your money, rather than let it just sit in the bank hoping that the interest rate will go up and you'll earn a little bit more. The next person is the shopper. Now, don't confuse the shopper with the big spender. The shopper is based on emotion. In fact, that's me, if I'm honest. I tend to shop if something goes great, I like to celebrate. If something doesn't go so great, I like to commiserate. So either way, unfortunately, I'm a spender, and I'm an emotional spender. If I'm kind of level, I haven't had an amazing day, I haven't had a really rubbish day, then the likelihood is I'm not going to spend. Is that you? Put it in the chat if any of these so far has been you. Or are you a little bit of it? When it comes to your phone, do you have to have the latest phone, but everything else you're not that bothered about? When it comes to saving, you do save for a specific goal, and then once you've achieved that goal, then you spend. Or do you just save and you keep on thinking, I'll just save for another year, I'll just save for another year, and everybody's like, what are you afraid of? And you're like, nothing, I'm just saving. So are you that person? Or are you the emotional shopper who gets comfort from the things that you purchase? and possibly feel guilty afterwards. The next one is the debtor. Now, the debtor is probably arguably in the most debt out of all of them. They love to spend. I mean, with the big spender, even though they're spending on nice cars and gadgets and, brand name clothing, they are actually purchasing things of value. Rather than the debtor, they just seem to spend for absolutely no real reason. So they don't spend like the big spender, sorry. They don't spend like them, as in the latest gadgets. They don't spend like the emotional shopper. They just spend, and they have absolutely no understanding of money. They have absolutely no understanding of what they've spent. They probably don't even keep the receipts. They probably don't even check the price of things. They just spend. And then when they get to the end of the month and they look at their credit card bill, they're shocked because they do not have a clue about what they have spent. And then the last personality, I would say, is the investor. Now, the investor is very curious about money, very aware of money, and has the opinion that money should work for you. Now, there's the saying, isn't it? Don't work for money, let money work for you. And with the investor, that's definitely it. I mean, those were my thoughts when I bought my buy-to-let at the age of 27. I really did believe that property as a passive income was great. So that's why I did what I did. So I suppose, in a way, I see myself, a little bit of myself in all of these. I mean, what do you see yourself as? I think with the big spender, if you are keeping up with the Joneses and your family has all purchased, or peers have all purchased property, you may start saving for your own place because you don't want to be left behind. You don't want to be the last one to purchase. With the saver, I think once you have saved up enough deposit, you just need that little bit of push, the little bit of confidence to actually put yourself out there and commit to a very large expense. And when it comes to the shopper, yes, buying your own property can feel amazing. So if, you're used to emotional shopping for a house can feel really good. But then if you have trouble saving for the deposit, or the person you're going in on the property with doesn't want to do it anymore, then that can, bring things down. So I think with emotional shoppers, you've just got to try and keep level and say to yourself that it will happen. It just takes time. Some people's journeys to buy a property can take months, like well over a year, depending on what you're looking for and depending on the situation. And a lot of people like to live in the popular areas, don't they? So that's why it would be a real concern if they tried to buy and they couldn't get in the right area. So they wouldn't really like that. And I think the big spenders would also feel like they have to live in a certain area. So the shoppers, it'd be more emotionally, they want to feel connected and that kind of stuff. So they probably want to live near family and friends. The big spender would want to live on the nicest road. And the saver would probably want to live on the worst road. They'd buy a property that is doesn't need much doing to it because they wouldn't want to spend the money on it, but they would not buy a property that they could actually afford. They would buy the bare minimum, just to make sure that they don't spend all of their savings. And then for the debtor, now that is a major concern. They'd probably jump in with 2 feet, buy the property, and then worry about how they're going to pay the mortgage later on, which isn't the way to go. The investor, they may never actually buy a residential property. They may have a lot of buy-to-lets that they rent out to other people, and they either live at home with their parents, they don't have to fork out, or they do rent, but they rent a room, not even a whole flat, even though they could easily afford it. So, as I said before, what are you? Which personality are you? I'd love for you to comment in the chat And if you've got any questions about these personalities and how it relates to mortgages, I hope I've covered it. But if not, please put your questions in the chat, and if there's any other topics that you'd like me to talk about, I am going through my own content plan list, but I will be adding them on, just like the rent to rent, that's on the list. And when I get through all of these topics, I will be looking at ones that have been recommended by yourselves. So thanks again for subscribing, thanks for sharing, and thanks for your support. I really, really appreciate it. Thanks for your time. Take care. Bye bye.